WhatsApp business solutions and discuss how brands can leverage it for their own growth. Before we start with more insights on WhatsApp business, let's take a pause and understand that WhatsApp is not just a platform for texting good morning. WhatsApp is now a lifeline for small businesses. There's a lot of business buzz right now about the WhatsApp messaging app, and with good reasons. WhatsApp has quickly emerged as the go to messaging app for over 1.6 billion consumers around the globe. It is a fast, simple, and convenient way for family and friends to chat, create group texts, share photos and videos, send and receive documents, and engage in private, secure conversations anytime, day or night. Now, with the unveiling of WhatsApp Business API, companies worldwide are clamoring to use it too. WhatsApp Business is among the 30 most downloaded apps in India in August so far. While e commerce websites have gained more ground in India in recent months, their popularity is just a fraction of WhatsApp. This year, around 110 million Indians are expected to shop on e commerce websites. In comparison, WhatsApp has over 400 million users in the country. The Facebook owned API um, has recently introduced some new features such as catalog links, QR codes, and sticker packs. As it hopes to lure more users, in February, the company got a regulatory nod to start its own payment service in India, which will make it even more convenient for businesses and shoppers. Hi Apurva, welcome to our community. Since you are working on building a lot of technology around WhatsApp business and haptic, let us know what exactly is WhatsApp and how can one leverage the platform for business growth. Here you are.
Definitely. I'm gonna share my screen
Sure.
so that we can have a little bit more interactive session.
Sure. And guys, there will be a question and answer session. So whatever questions you have, you can put it in your chat box. And once the screen share has been done, Apurva is there to answer all your queries. So feel free to put your queries into the chat box. Thank you.
Right, can you guys see my screen?
Yes.
All right. So I think before we kind of get into, discussing what WhatsApp is and, I think Shruti set the context. I think what I wanted to do was also understand where, let's say, like today's participants are, where we are in terms of how we are using WhatsApp, to kind of set the context of what we discussed today. There's definitely a lot going on in WhatsApp, a lot that we can do on WhatsApp, and to kind of make this the time that all of us are spending together a lot more meaningful. I just wanted to start with a small 1 minute poll as to just understand where all of us might be in our journey with understanding WhatsApp and using it for our business. For some reason, I can't see the chat option. 1 second. Yes. So I just posted a Google form link. Let's just take like a minute to kind of put in where we are in terms of how we are using WhatsApp, and then.
Sure. I think the form is required permission.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay, 1 second. One second, guys. So sorry. You guys can't send in
No.
because it's open here.
Okay.
All right, I think if this doesn't work, we're going to try another a simpler way to do this, which is, to keep the session going on. So essentially, what I wanted to understand is, how many of us are currently using WhatsApp for business, and if you have never used WhatsApp, just type in one. If you have used WhatsApp for your business, which could either be by using one of the WhatsApp business apps, or you've used WhatsApp in some informal way, we could just use the chat to type in two, and that kind of gives us a sense of how we might be using.
Sure.
So one is if you have never used, two is if you have used it in some shape or form.
So we have run this poll in our community, and the feedback was 50% have not used but interested, 0% is have not used and not interested, 26% not used formally but have business communication, 24% currently using a WhatsApp business account. So, yeah,
Right. Right. So I think we ran this poll today.
yes,
I think Abhishek ran the poll. And, while I wouldn't say it was surprising, I think it just every time we ask people or businesses, it just keeps reaffirming the faith that, businesses are increasingly just seeing value in WhatsApp, even if people haven't used. There's just so much interest to understand what WhatsApp is. It's because all of us kind of use it, and that's what I want to spend my time discussing today. That why it might be an interesting platform for businesses today, and because it's interesting, and how can you kind of make it relevant in your brand's growth journey,
sure.
right? I'm Apurva, and I've spent a large part of my career just working on conversational interfaces. And through my career, I have had a chance to work with a large number of brands in deploying their conversational AI strategy. I lead products and partnerships at Haptic, and we are one of Reliance Geo's investments. And as part of that, we are leading Geo platforms entire WhatsApp strategy, of which GeoMart is one of the leading deployments that we are currently a part of.
Oh,
And today, I essentially, want to talk to all of us about WhatsApp, and kind of discuss what we have learned so far working through all of these deployments, and get your perspective on how you would want to leverage WhatsApp, and figure out what's the right way to kind of do it, and if any of our technologies can assist you in meeting your goals out there,
all right.
right? So, just kind of, it's just like, I don't think WhatsApp needs any introduction, right? Like, all of us know what WhatsApp is. We spend so much time on it, and probably most of you who are joining this session, I signed up for this on WhatsApp. I know I did when Shruti sent it to me, that even I need to kind of register for it, and I received that on WhatsApp. It wasn't an email, it wasn't a website, it kind of happened on WhatsApp. It's essentially that one communication channel where you are sure you're going to get heard, you are sure you will get a response back. And that's essentially what's reflecting in WhatsApp's numbers, right? That there are 1.5 billion plus users. Like, to put in perspective, there are 7.8 billion people living on earth, and of that, a large chunk uses WhatsApp to communicate with each other. And they not just use it, they use it to what extent, right? Like, how many messages they send out every day. And that's what kind of makes this platform very interesting. And since the launch of WhatsApp Business in 2018, 50 million plus businesses are using it today. And that's what's kind of very interesting about WhatsApp, and where this ecosystem has kind of reached, right? So that definitely brings up the question, what makes WhatsApp so popular? It has a massive global reach and it works across 180 countries. And while there are a lot of other things which might have that kind of global reach, it's actually the kind of engagement this channel provides that makes it very, very unique, right? 98% of WhatsApp messages get read in under 3 minutes, right, of being received. So, and hence, like, obviously, when we send a message to somebody, we don't really sit and calculate that, hey, did somebody read this in 3 minutes? But inherently all of us know that if you're sending somebody a WhatsApp message, that's the best way to reach out to somebody, right? And when you kind of compare this to any other communication medium that we as humans have known, the difference is just astounding, right? WhatsApp has almost 100% delivery rates, open rates, read rates. And what's really high for WhatsApp is essentially the response rates. So like when you kind of send out the message, the number of people who will actually reach back to you, that's what kind of makes this a lot more powerful than any other medium that we kind of know around us, right? um, and like, essentially it's because of the two-way communication medium that it provides. I can send a message, you can reply back, and there's no definition to it, right? If when I talk to my mom, I talk in a different way and I define what this interface does for me, and when I talk with, let's say, my boss on WhatsApp, I might be defining it in a different manner. When I'm talking to, let's say, my house help, I might be talking in a different manner. And two people who are chatting on it kind of define what this interface becomes for us, right? And that makes it very versatile. We can use it across languages, and it also supports rich media, right? So I can use images, I can use voice messages, and that just essentially means I can just communicate with a lot more people, right? Now, obviously, these things have been true about WhatsApp forever. There have been these things, which is it's engaging. A lot of us are on it. They've been true about WhatsApp since the day it's been there. It's not something that's happened recently. It's only kind of got more and more reaffirmed. But there are a few other changes that are happening around us, which is increasing the relevance of WhatsApp for businesses today, right? So before I kind of get into it, I just wanted to ask a very simple question. Like, we've been under lockdown for what, some ungodly number of months now, like 6 7 months. And through this lockdown period, how many of you, or let's say somebody in your household, maybe your significant other, has actually used WhatsApp to buy something? Type in yes if you have, type in no if you haven't. So through this lockdown period, how many of you have been part of a WhatsApp group, and kind of bought something through it? And not just you, think of, let's say, your significant other. So I know in a lot of households, like, probably the wives are only kind of doing this, or only the husbands are doing it. So think of you as you and your significant other. Right. So bunch of us have actually either, ourselves joined these groups, or, have some of them. And some of you guys who have not had the privilege of being part of any of these groups, I think you're missing on the next wave of just how people are buying today. But it's very interesting to see what's happening there. Since we went into this forced lockdown, which nobody had kind of prepared, merchants that we were dealing with were kind of forced to come online, right? And then that's where we kind of saw the surge in WhatsApp commerce. And it was probably already on track to happen, but it got really speed up by this entire lockdown, right? So there is, let's say, WhatsApp is this super engaging personal channel where all of us are spending so much time. But there are 3 4 important shifts that have happened very quickly recently, that has kind of made WhatsApp like super relevant for commerce today. One is this surge in WhatsApp, users acceptance of being, of like talking to brands on WhatsApp, right? through lockdown, right? Because we didn't have a lot of other choice. As a user, we didn't have a lot of choice to kind of step out and buy these things. Some of these, our behavior kind of changed, and we became a little bit more accepting. There is a lot of nuisance also that has cropped up because of this, and that's something probably we kind of discuss later. But overall, if you think, right, like there's a lot more acceptance from just WhatsApp users to buy through WhatsApp, right? And that's kind of changed, right? The second important shift that's happening right now is that, like Shruti mentioned in her intro, right? WhatsApp payment has now been cleared for its India rollout. I don't know how many of you had a chance to experience WhatsApp Pay when it was launched in beta in 2018. I was actually part of that beta. And I think it's the most magical payment experience that can be out there, right? We typically send money to each other, and it works on top of UPI. And essentially, literally, just by putting your PIN, you can send money to other people, right? So, that's essentially the other thing. And the third thing that I think is super important is just Facebook's commitment to commerce. Through the last 3-4 months, they have launched Facebook and Instagram shops. They've been super committed in making WhatsApp a lot more ready for commerce, and payments is, let's say, one leg. But they're investing a lot more in making commerce friendly UI elements on top of WhatsApp, right now. So if you think of these three things that are happening around us, what, let's say, if I kind of put these two things together, is that as an ecosystem around WhatsApp, both from people who are building WhatsApp and users who are using WhatsApp, it's becoming a lot more ready uh, to be, a lot more ripe to kind of be the commerce platform for businesses, and specifically in countries like India, right? And that's where, this belief kind of comes in. If like why commerce on WhatsApp is kind of going to work, right? What WhatsApp already had was extremely zero friction interface with massive user adoption. But what's kind of changed over the course of last 3-4 months is that a lot of interactive elements that make commerce on WhatsApp easy are coming in. WhatsApp is now getting WhatsApp payments, and Facebook is relentlessly committed to make all of this happen for us, right? And that's where I see a large opportunity for a lot of brands, specifically the D2C brands, to have this pipeline, which is a zero commission pipeline, if you think about it, that gives that, like, almost all your user, irrespective of the segment of user you're going after, is already present on this medium. And not just present, right? They're super familiar with it, they use it day in and day out. And the company itself, the company making this product, is now more and more vested in making sure that businesses can kind of leverage this a lot easily, right? So these things combined together, is, let's say, my perspective, why I think the entire why it makes sense for businesses to evaluate WhatsApp as part of their strategy, specifically if they are a direct to consumer brand. What's Chat interfaces that way are brilliant, brilliant to get started. All you need to kind of do on them is talk to people, right? Like, there's no fancy setup, there's no design, there's no web development, there's no app development. All you kind of do is chat with everybody, and that kind of makes them all the more powerful out there, right? um, so that's basically what's kind of happening in the WhatsApp world, and why it's kind of, I think, today a lot more important than it ever has been. So from there, I wanted to kind of spend some time, discussing, like, what are different ways in which a business can utilize WhatsApp. And to do this, WhatsApp has two kinds of products out there in the market. Um, One is called the WhatsApp Business app, and the second one is called WhatsApp Business APIs, right? These two are different products than the app that you and I use. What we use is the WhatsApp app, and the way they kind of differ from WhatsApp Business, from the regular WhatsApp app we use, is that they have some additional functionalities built into them, keeping businesses in mind, right? One small but significant differentiator between the normal app we use and the WhatsApp Business app is that It lets you create a business profile there, right? So it essentially, you can define who you are. Instead of like on our personal WhatsApp, the identity is my name. There I can actually have like my business identity. I can tell you where my office is, where what my website is, how can you kind of contact me, what do I deal in. So it's like a mini web page, if you kind of think about, or like a mini contact information page. And those are small features that WhatsApp business app kind of brings in, which a business can have like a distinguished, differentiated presence on WhatsApp, right? Now, why does WhatsApp have two different products in the market to think about, right? Um, so the first product, which is WhatsApp Business app, it's a super simple uh, product to get started with. All you need to do is go on the App Store or the Play Store, download the WhatsApp Business app. You can get another SIM number for it. And literally, how we set up WhatsApp, which I'm sure a lot of us have already forgotten because we set it up like 6 7 years back and have never had the need to kind of go back to. But setting a WhatsApp Business app is as simple as that, right? And what it does is, like I spoke about it, all business, products from WhatsApp having that ability to set up your WhatsApp business profile. The WhatsApp Business app also has certain amount of additional features that enables you to manage messaging a lot more seamlessly, right? Like, and that comes from the fact that businesses are likely to receive a lot more messages than personal, what you receive in personal communication. So they have uh, small automation features built in, which is like you could automate greetings to a user. You can set up like an offline message, and you can do some of these smaller automations out there. um, but where it kind of lacks is in the ability to scale for a business. And that's where WhatsApp has another product, which is the WhatsApp APIs. Now the WhatsApp APIs are bare bones APIs, which means they come without any sort of interface in form of an app or a dashboard. It's essentially just a way of programmatically sending a message to WhatsApp and programmatically reading back the message from WhatsApp. And it literally depends on the WhatsApp API owner to define what this does. Like it, that's all the ability that it will have right out of the box, right? um, and but what does this, let's say, a programmatic access kind of mean is that now you can kind of connect it to any other software that you might be using. You can enable more than one person to talk on behalf of the same number. And the list can kind of just keep going on. But in let's say, if I had to put it in, let's say, one word, it essentially means all of your operations on your WhatsApp business number can now be made scalable. You can make them personalized, you can make them scalable, because now you can fit in any program to be able to control what goes out and how you can read back from this number, right? Um, so that's essentially the two products that you have in the market, and like a quick summary of where they kind of fit in. The one thing to kind of also that I think I should mention here is that the WhatsApp Business app is completely free to use. You just go download it and use it, just like the app that we have. The WhatsApp Business APIs are not. WhatsApp Business API, actually from Facebook, have been in beta phase. They've been in limited rollout for almost 3 to 4 years now. I think 3 years, oddly. And but the rollout has been picking a lot more pace here. I know a bunch of you are asking about WhatsApp Business API prices. We will definitely cover those as we kind of go forward. Right. And I think the one thing to kind of understand is that there's WhatsApp Business app, which is at let's say, this is, let's say, the WhatsApp Business, oh, sorry, the WhatsApp app we use. WhatsApp Business app is a level above it in terms of what more you can do in terms of the efficiency it brings in. And the WhatsApp API kind of has a lot more capabilities to it. But because it's so powerful, WhatsApp has built in a lot of checks and balances with to kind of make sure that it does not get abused, because essentially what makes WhatsApp so popular is the value it drives to the end user. And while they wanted to bring out a product for businesses, they didn't want to dilute the value proposition it has for the user, right? So it does come with a lot of these nuances to it, which have been built in as, let's say, policy from WhatsApp side. But I think their overall beneficial, because abusing, let's say, any of the user privileges on WhatsApp is anyway not going to be a lot fruitful for the brands in the long run, right? Right. So just like I kind of spoke, right, like business app, the pro is easy to get started. You can message anybody anyhow. It's not regulated by a lot of checks and balances from the WhatsApp side. The con is its extendability. You can't automate a lot with it. Actually, you can't automate anything. And the account is kind of tied to the device it is on. Just like the WhatsApp app we have, multiple people can't kind of go through it. The WhatsApp business APIs, the massive pro is that you can connect it to any software you have. You use Shopify, you can connect it to your order management system in Shopify. You can connect it to, if you use any other ticketing software, you kind of connect it to that. You can support multiple users logging into and replying back on the behalf of the same number. You can personalize each message that you send out. You can programmatically replace users' name in those messages, right? And it also supports a bunch of interactive elements like buttons. But the biggest con is that it is heavily regulated. It comes with a bunch of rules, checks and balances. Your business needs to get approved to be able to use this, and it's definitely not free, right? We will definitely go into a little bit more detail about WhatsApp business API, and I will take all the questions that we have here. But before we kind of delved into that, here I just wanted to touch base with the different products that we have, because depending on the scale of a particular business, either of them can kind of make sense for you. But before we kind of delve in deeper into just the business APIs, I thought it might be interesting to kind of see, right, like now that we know, okay, WhatsApp is interesting, and there are few options for businesses to use this. How can you actually bring your business on WhatsApp and kind of be successful with it, right? Now, irrespective of whether you use the WhatsApp business app or you use the WhatsApp API, right? If you even decide to invest your time, let's say, let alone, let's say, money, what would be some of the things to keep in mind as you start bringing your brand on WhatsApp, right? And you know like few things to kind of understand here is which are slightly different from when we generally converse with anybody else on WhatsApp, is that your number is not likely to be stored with your users when you reach out to them for the first time. And hence it essentially means that just your WhatsApp business profile becomes super important. It's not like something that a placeholder that has been provided by WhatsApp, but because when you send a message to a user, right, whether you do it through the WhatsApp business API or the app, right, they're unlikely to know who you are, right? And to kind of it's a good idea to kind of give them a way to know who's sending this message. They might know the brand, but just because they didn't have the number saved, you don't want to kind of leave a bad impression with them, right? And I think these two are the golden rules of about anything you think about doing on WhatsApp. uh, it's a super personal space. People spend a lot of time on it. They don't want to kind of get annoyed. So just two golden rules here, which is only engage with users who want to connect with you. Do not spam, message judiciously. Every message you send will get read, which essentially also means if users did not opt for it, they get annoyed, right? And WhatsApp is super sensitive to just the spam reports. I don't know if anybody has had a chance to actually try a lot more intrusive use cases on WhatsApp. I have tried, and that's why I kind of say this. It does not take a lot to get banned on WhatsApp. It's quite WhatsApp gives a lot more control to their users, which they should, because and that's what makes this powerful. So this is, let's say, something to keep in mind. And now this is not to kind of say that if you are using only the API kind of makes it mandatory for you to take opt-ins from users. It's a recommended practice even if you are using any other WhatsApp product, right? So and these opt-ins could be very simply just telling people that, hey, if you're interested in what I have to offer, click in here, join my group. Versus you saw a bunch of numbers in somebody's groups, scraped them all out and started messaging people that, hey, I sell this, join me, right? It is very hard to kind of not annoy people in such a manner. You have to take a little bit more patient and a longer route while building your engagement on WhatsApp, right? And one of the tricks that we have found to work successfully here is to pick high value use cases first. So pick what is, let's say, a high value use case to reach out to your user on WhatsApp first, build that trust with your business on WhatsApp, and then progressively add more use cases to your brand on WhatsApp, right? There is as you kind of talk to your users, it's kind of important, and that to understand that there's a lot you can do on WhatsApp. You can use images, you can use videos, you can use a combination of documents, and essentially whatever you send to them doesn't have to be long text, right? And that becomes quite important, as when you specifically as a brand want to reach out, that you take care of the right kind of formatting to increase readability. And I think it's a lot about experimenting for what works for your brand. But what I wanted to kind of bring out here is that WhatsApp does provide a lot of interface elements, like the API has these kind of buttons. There are images that you can use, instead of sending, let's say, your menu as a 30 line long text. Try replacing that with, let's say, an image that you can, and kind of send it out, because it's a lot about delivering that rich experience to the end user, right? And WhatsApp net, beyond everything, is about having great conversations with your users, right? So while for us as brands, what works is the engagement rate that WhatsApp brings in, the true value or the true leverage you can get out of WhatsApp is when you start having great conversations with your users, right? And um, that's where you have that chance of getting close to users, and that's where the strength of WhatsApp lies in. So whatever strategy you kind of choose to put in for WhatsApp, this is one aspect to kind of not ignore, as you kind of think about WhatsApp. There are, like I spoke about, what we have seen work as a strategy for WhatsApp is building some extremely high value use cases first, and then building, trust, using those trust and familiarity with your brand being on WhatsApp using those use cases. What I wanted to kind of touch upon was some of these high value use cases that we have seen being successful for brands that we work with. And I think the first one that works really well is cart abandonment. Just recovering of abandoned carts. I think just across e-commerce, it's a massive problem, and that's where you can truly leverage that. That a lot of messages get read on WhatsApp, and I think the right way to kind of use this kind of use case is to be able to identify the true cart abandonment, right? It is, for all brands that we have worked closely with, you essentially have to figure out what's the right place where it was a true cart abandonment, and not do it too early in the funnel itself, right? Like, a lot of people are just kind of exploring your products, and you don't want to kind of annoy them a lot early on, right? But if done well, this is a super successful use case on WhatsApp. The other place I know a lot of brands do this use case is on email, and we all know what are the open rates with emails, right? This is another use case we had a chance to experiment with, and it turns out it was super delightful for users, right? It was definitely valuable for brands, but super delightful for users, which is the cash on delivery confirmation, right? As we know, we do a lot of cash on delivery kind of orders in India, and they also see extremely high cancellation rate, because of which, most of a lot of our a lot of brands invest in building this IVR based confirmation system. And when we implemented cash on delivery confirmation for some of these brands, we actually heard back from users that this is real, they would really prefer this over getting an IVR call. And it works well for both the brand and the user, because an IVR call from an unknown number essentially doesn't get picked up as fast. Users don't want to pick up calls. There's a very high shift in just users' preference to be able to chat. So if you're looking for first few use cases to get started, cash on delivery confirmation is like a good use case to look into. And the third high value use case that kind of delivered delight to users and added value for brand partners alike was back in stock alerts, right? Generally, users subscribe to back in stock alerts for products that they really really want to buy, which means there's super high intent. And it whenever you kind of bring that back in your inventory, it's important that you're able to sell it back fast again. And that's where WhatsApp kind of plays its magic. This WhatsApp message won't get missed, which means your user is happy that they could kind of keep a track of the product that they were looking for. And the inbuilt CTAs and the buttons that you can put in these messages essentially means that you get a lot higher conversion out of this, right? um, the fourth one, which I think we've tried across a lot of brands, this one essentially, which is delivery updates. Where we've seen this work really well is that it keeps the users informed, and it kind of increases your NPS because of just the faster response time. Specifically, if you have certain bad news with respect to delivery, if deliveries are running late, kind of giving this kind of an information on WhatsApp works out really well. Because since these people use WhatsApp Business APIs to send these messages, and these are not free, we've definitely seen brands manage what kind of delivery updates they want to send using WhatsApp. And if done well, which is specifically when there are delays in your delivery updates, we've seen a lot of success around this. This is one unique use case that we found working well on WhatsApp, which is if you are selling some high ticket item, just increasing your ad conversion from whether you run ads on Facebook or anywhere else, where you essentially, let's say if you're filling a form, you can actually get, let's say, your sales team in the loop here to increase your sale conversion from your interested leads. And we've actually seen users preferring WhatsApp messages over getting a call. And likewise, it works a lot better for brands because it gets that visibility versus, let's say, the call does not, right? And some of the tricks that we kind of found that help you get this visibility on this message is using things like these in the header, so that when the user kind of just sees this on the notification center, they realize it's not a spam but something that's contextually relevant that's coming to them, right? So these are essentially different kind of different kind of use cases we have had a chance to experiment with, and kind of I wanted to bring around, which is like I think a lot of us feel that because of the amount of restrictions and how WhatsApp is personal, there aren't enough high utility use cases that you can start leveraging WhatsApp for. And that's why I wanted to bring out like 4 or 5 high utility use cases which carry a lot of value for you as a brand, because they increase your conversion rate significantly, but at the same time are non-intrusive and super valuable for user, whether it's your back in stock alert or a delayed delivery alert, or when somebody has expressed the desire to speak to your sales team, you getting back to them closely, getting them back to them fast. And all of these use cases, we're building value for the end user, and hence, like they end up being really good use cases to start building your WhatsApp experience for your brand, right? So kind of just to summarize, if you're thinking of bringing your brand on WhatsApp, the recommendation would be start small, start simple, pick 1, 2 high utility use cases, promote those use cases, build them in, take feedback from your users and iterate. And I can't stress enough, invest in replying back to your users, right? It seems a lot of time, let's say, a little less intuitive for us, but that's where the real strength of WhatsApp kind of exists when you actually use it to uh, get close to your users, right? uh, and extremely high recommendation of not thinking of WhatsApp as just a marketing channel. It's an engagement platform, and it's not a platform where, yes, because the readability is high, we start bombarding users. It is a very it needs to be thought of as an engagement layer to your product. And I don't want to come in here and set wrong expectation by just saying that all WhatsApp messages will get read within 3 minutes. Go bombard your user. It does not work. We we've not seen brands being successful using this. What But like building a slow and meaningful journey throughout is where we see a lot of value creation happening, right? Do not think of this as a PR and media exercise. I do understand that there's a lot of value in saying that my brand is on WhatsApp. But if you are taking, let's say, your first step of bringing your brand on WhatsApp, think it from, a long-term strategy. Like if you put in some thought before building your own website, you need to put in that thought when you kind of think about bringing your brand on WhatsApp as well. Um, right? And we have to respect just the user's entire privacy and their relationship with this product. And whether you use the WhatsApp business app or the APIs, it is always best to kind of tell users why they're chatting with you, take like a discrete opt-in for them. And with these things in place, I think you can set your brand up for everything that WhatsApp has to kind of offer. Right. So that kind of, that with that, I wanted to like, I think I've shared most of the thoughts that I had in terms of what is WhatsApp, what are the different WhatsApp business products that we have, how can you kind of, get started with it, and just, how can different kind of things to keep in mind as you think about bringing your business on WhatsApp. Now, is basically the time to discuss what's the implementation and how do you go about it, right? Um, I think the first decision that needs to be made is, whether you're going to be using WhatsApp Business app, or you will be using the WhatsApp Business API, right? And for this, I've kind of devised 6-7 questions that kind of will enable you to think which of these two is the right product for you, right? Um, if you think you will be talking to less than 100 users a day, probably WhatsApp Business will work well for you. That essentially means you could have one dedicated person, which is either you or somebody you hire who can reply back to and talk to these users. But if you anticipate you're going to be having more than 100 users who will reach out to you on WhatsApp, you should kind of think about the WhatsApp API. The second thing to kind of think is that what's the use case for you? How do you want to distribute this WhatsApp number? What do you want to do with it, right? If your use case is where you will put this number, let's say on your contact form or on your website or somewhere, and users will reach out to you, which means you are not making a proactive outreach from your side, WhatsApp Business app will fit in. But if you want to kind of also make an outreach from your side, think about WhatsApp API, right? Um, Third to kind of definitely think is, how many team members do you want to kind of look into managing this WhatsApp? WhatsApp Business app can work only with one login. So if you're looking for more WhatsApp APIs, let's say the right product for you. Though you can kind of have multiple SIMs spread across different team members, even on WhatsApp Business app, to have multiple people around, start using WhatsApp Business API, right? The other thing to think about it is, how critical is the response time? Because now WhatsApp Business app is tied to your phone, to your login. You will sleep at some point, you will eat at some point, which means it can't be a round the clock experience for your end user, right? But if you're looking for that round the clock experience, then the WhatsApp API is for you, right? And I don't think there's anything kind of wrong or right about the product that you use. It will really depend on the stage of business that you are in, and that's where I think these 6-7 questions help you decide which kind of fits well for you, right? WhatsApp Business app also does not come with a lot of the ability to extract these chats, read through them to find any kind of insights within them. So if let's say when we start our business journey and our scale is not enough and we are kind of taking those chats, we don't need to spend time to explicitly analyze them as well, right? Because we are going through that entire process. But if your business has already outgrown that stage where other people talk on behalf of your business, but you would want to kind of understand what your users are talking about your business. At the end of the day, WhatsApp business app will kind of not be able to meet your requirements there. You will have to think about the API. And I think the last thing, which is fairly important to kind of think about it, do you have a separate budget to kind of pay for the WhatsApp API, because it's not a free product and the WhatsApp business app is a free product, right? So that's basically a framework to kind of think about the two different products that we have. Um, Before we kind of get into just discussing how do we get started with WhatsApp API, I thought we could take up a few questions that we have in here before a lot more get piled on. What do you think,
Sure, sure.
Shruti?
Sure, we can. I was just thinking once the presentation is over, then we can take, because then people can
Sure.
send more questions, and we can wait
All
for
right.
more questions to come in.
Got it. All right. All right. So I will continue with my bhashan further on.
So, Apurva, actually, the screen is not visible to everyone, and I think a lot of people are saying that. Can it go in full view mode, or maybe we can share the PPT post our session? Yeah, that works.
Yeah, we
Thanks.
can share the PPT as well. Not a challenge at all. I will send it to you, and I think you guys can distribute it across.
Yeah. Thanks. Thanks.
Right. Um, all right. Now, essentially, once you kind of make the choice between is WhatsApp Business app suited for you or the WhatsApp Business API, we already know how to get started with WhatsApp Business app. You hit the Play Store, you hit the App Store, download it, either move your existing number to this app or get another SIM, and you're up and running to kind of start getting it used. WhatsApp Business API is where things get a little tricky, and that's where I will spend some time just going over how can a brand get started with WhatsApp Business API, right? Um, like I spoke earlier, right? Like WhatsApp Business APIs are super powerful, but because they're super powerful, there are a lot of checks and balances in place on how you can use WhatsApp Business APIs, right? Uh, to get started with WhatsApp Business API, there is like a whole process that you need to go through, right? And then there are three essential things that you need to get started. You will need a verified Facebook Business Manager. You need a phone number, a fresh phone number, and you need a business solution partner. Okay, so how it kind of works is that the API distribution happens through something known as WhatsApp Business Solution Partner, or BSPs. There are a bunch of BSPs in India, and I think around 15 or 20 BSPs based in India. And I think I might be wrong about the world number, but I think it's somewhere between 50 and 100. So it's not like there are a lot of BSPs, but there are enough number of BSPs available all across the globe. And these companies work closely with WhatsApp to increase the reach of WhatsApp Business APIs, right? So that's basically what your WhatsApp Business solution provider is. WhatsApp does give these APIs directly, but they work with very select handful brands. For most parts, let's say majority of the APIs are given out via a certain business solution provider, right? And that's the fastest way to kind of even get access to WhatsApp Business API. Um, so let's say one is we will discuss about how do you kind of select the right BSP for you. So that's, let's say, one thing that we need to find the right BSP partner for us. And apart from this, there are two things that we need to do on our end. One is we need to have a verified Facebook Business Manager, right? So I don't know how many of you have Facebook Business Managers. Now, the Facebook Business Manager is essentially like a dashboard that gives you access to a lot of Facebook products. That includes their ad products, includes your Instagram products, your Facebook shops, your Instagram shops, and a lot of them, right? And all of these different Facebook products are managed through something known as Facebook Business Manager. Anybody can go and sign up for it. I will share that link. It's part of this PPT. I think it's business.facebook.com. You kind of go to it. The Facebook Business Manager is linked to your personal account. It has to be linked to somebody's personal account. That's how, let's say, everything kind of works in Facebook. But what it lets you do is it lets you get access to a lot of other Facebook products, right? Not limited to just WhatsApp, but also, like, let's say, their ad products. Now, a lot of some of these Facebook products can be accessed without business verification, but some products need business verification. And WhatsApp API is one such product from Facebook, which can be given only to verified Facebook businesses. The verification process is not difficult. It's a fairly straightforward process. Step one, go create your Facebook Business Manager. Step two, apply for verification. It literally needs you to have your certificate of incorporation, your PAN and GST number, right? So all Facebook wants to verify is that you are a legit business, right? And how they kind of decide which of their product needs, can only be given to a verified business is just basis the kind of impact that product can have. And because WhatsApp APIs are super powerful on a super engaging product, they are given only to verified Facebook Business Manager. But there is no reason why every business cannot be a verified business, right? So you go in, make your Facebook Business Manager, apply for verification. You will need your certificate of incorporation, your GST number, and your PAN number, right? You start this process. The process can take time. It can take anywhere between 5 days to 20 days. 20 working days, so it does take time. And my recommendation would be that even if you're not very sure of if you want WhatsApp Business APIs today, still go and apply for your Facebook Business Manager verification, right? It costs you nothing. It will make you prepared to get access to WhatsApp Business API a lot faster whenever you kind of decide that your business is ready to get that access get that access, right? So that would, I think, definitely be my one recommendation with respect to just this process. This is the most time consuming step in the entire process of getting started with WhatsApp APIs, right? And the third thing that you essentially need is you will need a number. Each WhatsApp account, even the WhatsApp Business API account, is linked to a phone number. And the way it works is that between the WhatsApp app that we use and the WhatsApp Business app, there's a complete interoperability, which means I can have my number, I can convert it into the WhatsApp Business number, and then I can downgrade it back to my regular messaging number, and I can keep doing it. I think you just lose your messages in that downgrade. But what happens in the API is you can have your personal number and your business number and upgrade it, but you cannot downgrade it, right? So the recommendation here is to get like a fresh number, because let's say whatever history you have on your existing numbers on WhatsApp, you don't essentially want to lose them. And let's say tomorrow, let's say at some later point, you want to convert it back to your regular number, WhatsApp Business API number cannot be downgraded. And another thing that I think is worth pointing out here is that today, the business that is approved by a particular business solution provider cannot be ported to some other business solution provider. It might change later on, but today essentially the business solution provider who gets this number approved for you from WhatsApp, this number is tied to their ecosystem, right? You can work with multiple business solution partners, multiple BSPs. There's nothing stopping you. It will just be different numbers with each BSPs, right? And I think the only challenge with having like different numbers is because you kind of need, your users might start saving these numbers, and they start becoming a lot more familiar with these numbers. And that's why it's a little important to choose the right BSP as you kind of get started. So yeah, so that's pretty much about these three things that exist in getting started. Apart from these three things, there is just the WhatsApp's compliant policy that I thought would be worth mentioning. Not all businesses can get access to WhatsApp APIs today. These policies do get updated time to time. And I've just pulled out a few use cases from them that might kind of touch some of us. So there is one policy concerning alcohol. Any business that transacts in sale of alcohol is not permitted to get WhatsApp Business API. So that could include, let's say, a restaurant that delivers alcohol. So let's say a brewery, a pub. These businesses cannot get WhatsApp APIs today. There's also a little bit of nitty-gritty around, products that are doing digital subscription, which, and the digital subscription, particularly the policy does keep changing with time to time. And I think one thing to kind of remember here is that even WhatsApp is figuring out how to kind of distribute these APIs, considering the reach WhatsApp has. They're also super careful about it, right? So let's say while on surface some of these may not look like like why is a business who gives downloadable PDFs, like I'm running a business and I give my recipes as downloadable PDFs, why can't I have WhatsApp APIs? There's nothing wrong in, let's say, the legality of my business, right? I think from WhatsApp perspectives, it's a lot more around, if there's even a slightest chance of, let's say, fake news spreading because of the kind of business they give API access to, or any kind of hatred spreading because of the API access, or violence spreading, they want to today be, let's say, on the safer side, right? So as you kind of read through some of these compliance policies, they may or may not always make complete sense, but it is what it is as of today, right? And I think the other third category that might be kind of relevant to some businesses here is their policy on medical and healthcare products. Any kind of medical device company today cannot be cannot get access to WhatsApp APIs. Lifestyle and fitness accessories can. So let's say if I'm selling gym equipment, I can be, but if let's say I'm selling breast pumps, I cannot be, right? A lot more detail about this is present on the compliance policy section. You link the link below, whatsapp.com/policy/commerce policy. Have a look at it. I would still say, like, if you're unsure whether your business is compliant with the policy, still go and apply for it. There is a lot of gray area in the policy, and you cannot always be sure. But I think it's a good idea to check out the commerce policy to be aware of, if you are completely in the green park, or let's say it's kind of falling in the gray area. Most of the commerce use case do get approved, but let's say specifically like medical care, alcohol, and then just some form of digital subscriptions do come under the radar where they're not allowed, right? Okay, all right. So let's say you got your Facebook Business Manager, it was verified, we got a phone number, you figured out who's the right BSP for you, your business was compliant, you kind of approach that BSP, and that's when your WhatsApp API setup process starts, right? So what goes on behind this WhatsApp API setup is that a BSP would go and apply for your business approval on your behalf. WhatsApp approves this. Their trust team essentially goes and makes sure that the use case is, per their compliance policy. If it is, you get approved. Then what you need to kind of do is, apply your phone number for approval on WhatsApp Business API. Each number that is getting WhatsApp API has to be approved in addition to the business that got approved. And what essentially means is, let's say if you get a number approved, what will be the display name of that business account, that also needs to be approved through WhatsApp. So WhatsApp is super careful about anything that you do with WhatsApp API, and any kind of anything that people relate to is verified for them, which essentially also means is that if you are a WhatsApp Business API holder, it inherently will have a lot more trust with your user. You can also kind of get that green tick next to your name, which essentially means even if, let's say, a contact is not stored with your users, and they kind of search for you after you kind of message with them, it will show up, right? So WhatsApp Business API, even though it goes through a bunch of these process, has a lot of advantage over anything on the other two products that we have, right? So once, let's say, your business is approved, your number is approved, your display name is approved, what needs to now happen is that uh, your what happens is, there is, think about like a copy or a program of the WhatsApp app that now needs to be hosted on a server, right? So each deployment of WhatsApp API is unique, and that's how we kind of maintain the end-to-end encryption on these WhatsApp API number, right? So the app that you and I use, that's completely encrypted. Now if you think about it, what's happening on WhatsApp API is that the business in between is able to read these messages, right? And that essentially, to be able to do that but still maintaining the end-to-end encryption as we store these messages, each of them needs to be hosted differently, right? And that's where the WhatsApp business service providers, your BSPs, play an important role, where they actually host these APIs and maintain the infrastructure behind it, right? So today you don't have to worry about it, because almost all business providers out there make sure they take care of this part for you, right? And you can essentially just get started with the end API, right? So that's essentially what goes on behind setting WhatsApp API. From your side, it's literally about, getting that number, finding the right BSP, getting your Facebook business manager approved, giving your number to the BSP that you have chosen, and they will go and set this up for you, right? And the other thing, now and then you're all set to get started with your API number, right? Now what you can do with this API number is, now you can start sending your notifications out. You can connect it to other softwares that you might have, and words or pickle, you kind of define what you want to do. And the one thing that needs to kind of be kept in mind here is that the messages which you send out as notification, those also get pre-approved via WhatsApp, right? Like, again, going back to the fact that it has that reach, it's powerful, but there are a lot of checks and balances in place. And this is another place where the BSPs plays an important role in simplifying, how you can apply for these messages, how can you kind of get them approved. And today, I think compared to like 3 years back when this started, a lot of this has already been smoothened out. But it is still something to keep in mind, that every time you want to send out a notification, it needs to get approved by WhatsApp. And it has a very simple rationale behind it, right? Like, once you kind of send the message out, because it's end-to-end encrypted, WhatsApp can actually not read it. To In order to maintain, to know that you're not their platform is not being abused, they have to have read it before it actually got sent out, right? And that's why this entire approval process kind of stays in place, right? So that's pretty much what goes about. Once you do these first three steps, get this, choose your right BSP, on a rolling basis. Essentially, the only thing that keeps on repeating for you is that you need to apply for templates for approval. Everything else generally is already taken care by the business provider that's out there in the market. And as per my knowledge, I don't think there's even a single BSP who does not take care of the other things right out of the box today. Okay, now I think this is something that everybody's been very, very interested in knowing. How does the pricing work here, right? So there are two components to this pricing, right? Like I said, these are managed solutions, which means you're not getting the solution directly from WhatsApp. You get them through a partner, and partners add value in this entire chain by simplifying at least these four aspects of just hosting and maintaining these, and giving you the ability to do a lot more with it, right? And hence pricing has two components to it. There would be a WhatsApp pricing to it, and there will be a partner pricing to it, right? WhatsApp has a very unique pricing model for WhatsApp APIs. Um, whenever Now, WhatsApp's core belief is that it's built for its users. It's a super engaging channel. So whenever a user messages to a brand, they don't want anything to come in between the ability of a brand to reply back to this message, right? And hence these messages are completely free, right? You can send anything back. They're not regulated, and they're completely free. I think as you kind of start exploring WhatsApp API, the term session messages will start getting thrown around a lot. And what this essentially means is that whenever your user messages your brand, a session opens up for 24 hours. It's a rolling 24-hour window, which means, let's say a user messaged me now. I messaged them back, then they messaged me again. Now, from their latest message, the session is 24 hours long. So whenever they stop messaging me, I have 24 hours till when I can send unregulated message. Like, obviously that doesn't mean you start abusing, but let's say what it means from WhatsApp side is that there was a high intent from the user side. They reached out to you, and they don't want to have any sort of friction in between in your ability to reply back to them. So this is defined as session, and it's completely free. Now, let's say if you want to reach out to the user from your side, there are a lot of checks and balances in place, right? It becomes quite hard, right? One is you need to take explicit opt-in from them. The messages that you can send to users need to be pre-approved, and these are paid as well, right? So if session messages are, is as simple as how we chat on WhatsApp, these notifications are completely the opposite. They have all the checks and balances put in place. You can reach out to only users who have opted in for this. You pay for them as well, and you can't send anything that you feel like, right? Like these notification copies need to be approved by WhatsApp. So while I think these come across as, let's say, uh, adding friction or WhatsApp not allowing you to do something, I think it really works well for brands because you will choose the right use cases because of these checks and balances. And like we discussed, a bunch of use cases early on, there are a lot of high value use cases that you can still leverage on WhatsApp. And those are the right kind of use cases for WhatsApp. So even though there is a lot of friction built in, if you kind of think about in the right manner, these actually make sure that your brand also maintains the right kind of experience for your end user on WhatsApp. So that's about WhatsApp pricing. And then there is essentially partner pricing, right? Now, what partners role is, we already kind of discussed, is in essentially hosting all of this WhatsApp infrastructure, maintaining that for you, making it simple so that you can easily kind of work with them, versus also thinking about how does this get hosted, how can you keep it secure, how do you kind of use it. And for doing this or any other value add that they put on top of these APIs, different partners charge for their business models, right? I try to categorize different partners that we have in market, and I think they broadly fall in three buckets. One is your pure API partners. These are traditionally companies that used to do everything on premise and got automated now. So think of a lot of close to home Gupshup. I'm sure a lot of you have heard about. The second category of software is CRM and support software, Zendesk, Freshdesk. These are also WhatsApp business solution providers. And third category of companies are companies that build chatbots, and Haptic is an example there, right? So if you think about it, all these business partners have different kinds of value adds that they bring in on top of WhatsApp Business API, right? The WhatsApp Business API is a bare bones API, which means it literally has no functionality of its own, right? What different partners have done is, in addition to simplifying the infrastructural requirements of WhatsApp, they have also added their existing functionalities to these APIs, right? So instead of having something that has no functionality out of the box, what Twilio has done is that, okay, Twilio has great APIs for sending out notification. They've enabled it in their same product, which means once you have WhatsApp APIs, you can use Twilio's, whatever kind of notification you were sending out on SMS using Twilio, you can now start sending them out using WhatsApp APIs, right? If you were using Freshdesk for your live chat agent on your website, now you can use for your WhatsApp API number as well. So that's let's say in different ways. And let's say if you build a chatbot using like a company like Haptic for your website, or let's say for your IVR solution, now you can also deploy the same chatbot on WhatsApp, right? So that's what, let's say, the ecosystem looks like. Each partner who works with WhatsApp has kind of tailored their existing product offerings to be WhatsApp first as well, right? And that's why you see a bunch of different API providers in market, right? And that's where depending on how you want to use, you can pick the right DSP for you, because apart from getting the WhatsApp Business API for you, hosting the infrastructure and simplifying for it, what you will also get from them is their existing product working on WhatsApp API, right? So let's say if you're looking for a CRM solution, then you probably want to look at Freshdesk as your WhatsApp Business solution provider, right? Now, while we were kind of, looking at, let's say, if you look through these partners, right, I think one gap that we found was that there aren't there aren't partners or products out there which do notification and support use case together, right? If you think about it, WhatsApp is a great channel for both outreach and for inbound communication, right? While chatbot solution providers and the support solution providers have their solution best optimized for inbound queries, right? Like they're really good at automating these queries for you, doing the entire agent chat management for you. They are not best suited to, send out notifications for different use cases for you. And that's where, somebody like Twilio might have a really great offering, right? But WhatsApp as a platform essentially is good at both, right? Just to kind of put this a little bit differently, if you look at SMS, there is very little user behavior for inbound queries on SMS, which means the way Twilio's product is structured, which is to just send out an SMS notification, works really well for that medium, because nobody replies back on an SMS, right? Similarly, something like a chat software works really well for email support, works really well for live chat support. And traditionally in our companies, we use something like Freshdesk for inbound chat queries, and something like a MailChimp to automate our email notifications. We don't kind of do them together. But WhatsApp is kind of unique in that perspective, right? We might want to send out timely notifications out, and because this is a two-way messaging interface in itself, people are bound to reply back. And it's and there where we as brands can reply back to them. And hence I think when we were trying to work with brands, we kind of realized that we don't have a product that kind of tied these two together very well. And that's where we we kind of launched a product which is grounds up thought about. It's called interact.ai. It's still very early in its phases, but essentially from the first set of products that have partners that have come up for WhatsApp API, where like the WhatsApp API got added to their existing product offering. What we did at interact.ai is think grounds up that, okay, how do brands want to use WhatsApp, and what are the different tools that they will need as they kind of start their journey with WhatsApp. And that's where, if you are looking for something that combines notification and support inbox together, you might want to go and check us out at interact.ai. The platform here has essentially three important layers. At the heart of it is essentially a shared team inbox, where multiple people from your team can log in across desktop or mobile, and chat with your end user on the same number. It also comes with an inbuilt notification engine, so you can set up different kinds of event-based notifications that trigger WhatsApp notifications out. And you can also look at all your users at the same place. So if you're looking for something that's, let's say, ties all of this together, you can check us out at interact.ai. And
Uh, Apurva, can we quickly take the questions? We're
yes,
already 7:15.
yes, let's go for it.
Um, uh, Fair. So that was a pretty detailed and insightful presentation, and I'm sure people are aware how to process the WhatsApp business and how to get ready with it. Let's start with questions. So Anand is asking, what are some marketing ideas to increase the share of WhatsApp order versus overall channel mix for an e-commerce brand?
Right. Increase the share of WhatsApp orders compared to any other website brand, right? See,
Yes.
again, it starts with you, like the way WhatsApp is built for social commerce. It starts, the entire WhatsApp journey starts within the different groups and people that you touch base with on WhatsApp. What kind of works really well within a WhatsApp ecosystem is any sort of referral and share mechanism, right? So if you're thinking of, so you could kind of have your orders using WhatsApp, using your website, and where you should look at building your engagement flows within WhatsApp is that, let's say once somebody places and gets their order through them, can you build in a lot more share experiences within it? Can you build in a lot more, setting statuses within WhatsApp? So think of WhatsApp as, a social ecosystem, and then think of different things that you can kind of build in different kinds of gamification you can build within WhatsApp. The second thing to think about here is, how can you distribute your WhatsApp number a lot more, right? So one thing I'm sure a lot of us already do is putting, let's say, the chat widget on WhatsApp. You can also make it a part of your email signatures. You can also put it in your delivery emails, right? So think about what are different ways in which you can start distributing this number a lot more, right? And with this distribution, and putting in, let's say, these engagement triggers at different places, you will kind of, be able to expand your brand presence on WhatsApp, right? So like, let's say, if you think about it, if you have been running good let's say engagement on, let's say, Instagram, you might want to think about, Instagram and WhatsApp have a lot of similar functionalities. You might want to start thinking about how you can kind of build in some of those experiences within WhatsApp as well. And I think some of these activities are quite under leveraged by all of us today.
Okay. Um, Akash, Anand, hope you got your answer. A question from Palak: do we need proper integration with some other tool, or we can automate our answers for e-commerce orders or queries?
Can you repeat?
Yes, sure. Do we need proper integration with some other tool, or we can automate our answers for e-commerce orders or queries?
Right. Palak, essentially, let's say if you're looking to automate your queries yourself, what you need is, you need to work with a API provider like Twilio, which gives you barebone access to the APIs. Then in that's, let's say, if that's, let's say, the use case where you would want to automate these things yourself, the right kind of BSP that you should choose is somebody who gives you these APIs versus giving the tooling out of the box.
All right. Palak, hope you got your answer. Another question. Uh, there are many broadcast groups for the same.
For
I think she meant for automate our answers for e-commerce queries and orders.
I'm not sure if Palak, you're still around, probably if you want to reframe your question.
Yeah, yeah. So Akash is asking, I think the queries are through WhatsApp more when it comes to mainstream e-commerce channels or website. We have sold 40% of orders through WhatsApp. Also, Akash is telling us this. Okay. And
Kudos to you, Akash. I think we should hear a lot more experience from Akash.
sure. Neeraj is asking, would like to know, will WhatsApp roll out WhatsApp payment API to integrate on the commerce platforms similar like Paytm or any other payment gateways?
I think it's a little too early to say what happens there. There are ways of you using payments APIs within WhatsApp even today. We can leverage the WhatsApp buttons and the payment links within them to create payment experiences on WhatsApp even today. And it's one of the things you can kind of use Interact to do. I think just based on my understanding of the space, we are going to have the peer-to-peer WhatsApp payments come in a lot before business payments come in. But at this time, it will at best be a speculation. There is, I can't really, I don't have a lot of information if that this is exactly how that will happen. But my guess would be it's going to come for peer-to-peer a lot before it starts coming in from businesses.
I think it just launched, so I mean, it will still take to upgrade the payment ecosystem for WhatsApp. I think it will take time.
I do expect the peer-to-peer payments to come sometime this year.
Okay. And do they have UPI?
So the WhatsApp payment system, the entire experience is built on top of UPI. It actually has only UPI. At least the beta product that was launched in 2018 was completely built on UPI, and it was very well integrated within UPI, right? Like if you think about it today, when you get, let's say, a UPI link, you click on it, you put, let's say, your Google Pay PIN, You enter your amount, and then you literally just need to put your UPI pin. Now imagine if you try to pay within WhatsApp, you don't need to put even the first pin, which was for GPay. So you literally just put in your UPI pin. So it ends up being a lot fast and convenient experience. But it still remains to seen that this next rollout that they make, when does it happen? Though like the best guess would be that it can kind of happen anytime, because it's already got its regulatory clearance.
All right. So, Kamal, this answers your question. Pratiksha is asking, what is the best way to get started with the WhatsApp Business API for a company venturing into B2C market?
Right. I think the first thing that you need to explore here is that what all features that you want to use on the WhatsApp Business API. Like Pooja mentioned, she wants to automate herself, so she's looking for a lot more, let's say, API based access. And if you want to do integrated, use it only for your support flows, then you're looking for different partners. If you're looking to deploy a chatbot, you're looking for haptic. If you're looking for a combination of these, you might want to check out Interact.
All right. Vibhav is asking how many SMEs in India would currently be using WhatsApp Business APIs.
WhatsApp Business API numbers aren't public, and we don't have insights into it. The only official number that WhatsApp has shared is, and I think that's a June or a July report that they had shared, is that currently there are 50 million businesses using WhatsApp, and it will be a combination of both the business APIs and the business app that they have.
All right. Will a catalog feature like the one that exists in Business app be launched soon in Business APIs too?
Uh, it is speculated. Like it will definitely get launched. How soon is essentially the question. And unless it comes out, it's only speculation. But my personal guess would be we should start seeing it sometime today. Sorry, sometime this year. So
Okay.
both payments and catalogs, my guess is they should start coming out this year.
All right. So, Praveen, this answers your query. Advait is asking, does WhatsApp Business API support automatic bill generation from its catalog? And is it also linked to a payment instance through WhatsApp Pay?
So, like I mentioned before, WhatsApp Business API right out of the box has no functionality. The only ability it has is that it can read a message and you can programmatically send back a message. All of this functionality depends on what your internal capabilities are. Right now, let's say if you connect it to a software that has inbuilt capabilities of connecting, like let's say your reminder engine to WhatsApp, you will be able to do a use case like this, right? And the complexity of this integration will depend on what are your internal capabilities on tech front, and the kind of business provider solution that you go for, right? So something like Twilio will give you bare bones APIs out, but something like, let's say, an Interact or or a Haptic will give you a UI based solution to do the same thing, right? So there will be more than one ways of achieving this goal, but it really depends on what your internal capabilities are and what's the price point at which you're looking to solve this problem.
All right. Advait, this answers your query. Akshay is asking, when we send a link on WhatsApp, it only becomes clickable when someone replies to that message. Is there any way around this?
Yes, so this is this is true for the WhatsApp business. If you send a message through the WhatsApp business app or the peer-to-peer messaging app that we have, this is not true for the WhatsApp business API solution that we have, because WhatsApp API solutions, providers are pre-verified. The links sent through those numbers are clickable without any response. But what you are saying is correct. If you're using a WhatsApp business app, that is what will happen. There is no way around it. It's a check and balance put in place by WhatsApp to make sure users receive only high priority content, and only from people they have given permission to send content to them.
All right. So, Raghav is asking, can you suggest an app for COD confirmation?
uh, COD confirmation, in the sense, uh, I'm not sure if I got the answer. I got
So,
the question.
okay. So when one receive the order, you need to confirm the COD. So they are just asking for an app for COD confirmation on WhatsApp.
Right. So if you're using Shopify, there's an app that's available that does that. We also plan to make enable this use case using Interact on Shopify. So like I again said, right, like the API allows you to do everything, and at the same time, right out of the box, it does nothing. So it's essentially going to be a combination of getting the right API with the right, business provider solution software to kind of enable some of these use cases for you.
All right. Akshay is asking, how do you acquire new customers using the API? Could you give some examples, please?
Right. So WhatsApp does not have any form of advertisement inbuilt into its system, into its platform. Will this happen in future? Again, can't say. Probably should. So within WhatsApp, new user acquisition will happen through one or more of social strategies. Where you make interest-based groups, build them over time, acquire more users through it. Though there is another place where WhatsApp ends up playing an important role, which is in conversion of your online ads, right? If specifically if you have slightly high ticket items, or you use any kind of form filling while you run your ads, WhatsApp can really help you improve your overall conversion. You within your ad copy, you can take an opt-in from those users, and once they kind of submit the lead for to you, you can reach out proactively to them using your sales team. And we've actually seen this use case work out quite well. I think I would definitely say the caveat here is that I think the ROI on this makes sense only for slightly higher ticket items. I would definitely say, think about items above the price range of 1500 SKU, where this starts making sense. Otherwise, I think the other thing that actually works fairly well is how you kind of build, you would build mailing list on emails, invest time in building that kind of social opt-in over WhatsApp. The approach that you need to definitely keep in mind is that you're building a social following using WhatsApp here, and that's how you kind of you think about approaching the problem here.
Sure. So, Akshay, now you know how to acquire new customer using the API. Firdaus is asking, does WhatsApp API can be added in the groups? Also, can we see insights or data through API?
Yeah, so WhatsApp Business API was testing group support, but as of July 31st, it has been deprecated. Sorry, June 30th. So through July 1st, it has been deprecated. So as of today, WhatsApp APIs cannot be used within groups, and I think any WhatsApp API based groups that were supported will, I think, are also already deprecated by now. You can't do that, but yes, you can get all sorts of insights using WhatsApp API. You can get how many users have read your message, how many people have replied back to it, the entire timestamp, and like anything. You also get the raw message, which essentially mean at scale you can analyze them for deeper insights.
All right. Divakar is asking, can we get the list of BSPs?
I so You can go to. I can send you the link. All official BSPs from Facebook are actually listed on their website itself. So you can go and kind of link it there. I will also share my number if you want to kind of chat in a lot more detail about the use case. Um, um, so I think just getting the list of all BSPs, you will find it on the Facebook. I think where it kind of becomes important is understanding the strength of each BSP. I think that's where you need to think about that. Where are you looking to leverage this, and based on that, pick the right BSP for you. Each BSP comes with their own strength.
Sure. So, what you can do while sharing the PPT, you can mention your contact details, which I'm going to share with the entire
Right.
community. People can contact you then. Okay. Taran is asking, we have the business account. Kindly let me know how we get it verified. So, Taran, you can take this with Purva offline. Firdaus is asking, what if it's a small business with no GST number? Can it not be verified?
I'm not 100% sure, but I do think there are more than one documents you can set. What essentially WhatsApp wants to verify is that you are a registered business in your country, and like for our country, the documents end up being GST and PAN, and your certificate of incorporation. I would recommend going through the process, and I think within the manager it does give you a bunch of options to choose from.
Oh,
and there should be a way. It's just like I'm not 100% sure about that.
all right. Palak is asking, by going to business setting and then there is verification for business process where you need to fill in GST, Aadhaar and all can take 3 to 10 days to get verified.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Akash is saying, does business partner help to have the page verified? During my previous engagement, it took more than 3 months to get the business verified.
In my experience of like having seen companies do this, I've seen that happen between 3 days to 20 days. In some cases, it does take long, and it's generally has been if one or more documents have not been in order or one of your scans was not clear enough. At least your business name, your address, these details need to be clear. WhatsApp takes this entire effort quite seriously, and that's the reason most of it is actually uh, done manually through their trust teams. But let's say if your documents are submitted in orders, we have seen businesses get verified within 3 to 5 working days.
Okay. Saurav is asking, is it suggested to get a virtual phone number for business API account? Pros and cons.
Great question. So I think there is nothing wrong with a virtual number, but I think it gets a little tricky for India. Virtual number as concept does not exist here, which means if you are a business operating in India, you will potentially end up getting like a US number, virtual number. There is, like, let's say, fundamentally nothing wrong. I have had virtual numbers running WhatsApp Business API with it. It's just like it's recommended for Indian businesses to get Indian numbers because of the familiarity. When you're, let's say, when you're distributing that number as your contact information, it just uh, makes your users trust it a little bit more if the business if the number is, let's say, an Indian number. Uh, so I've not seen any issues with virtual numbers so far. I've definitely seen issues with virtual numbers on the business app, but we've not seen issues with the virtual number on the business API. We've seen a little bit more use like cases of the number getting banned on the business app. We haven't seen a lot of that happening on the API per se.
All right. Saurav, hope you got your answer. Kamal is asking, can we use our number or only BSP can provide?
No, the number can be your number. It does not matter. There could be few BSPs who might be in the business of giving numbers, who might kind of force this flow, and that's, let's say, to do with, like I said, right, like different BSPs have different business, and they distribute what's, let's say, right for their business model. So they might do that, but I think majority of the BSPs actually let you plug in whatever number you have.
All right. Pratiksha is asking, is there any list of BSPs and how can one select? So, Pratiksha, you can take this with Apurva offline. She'll share her details. Akash is asking, in WhatsApp business getting issues with listing reading glasses or prescription glasses in catalog. It is considering it as prescription medical item. How to get this approved?
Yeah, short answer is there isn't much you can do about it. I think it at some level it feels unfair to your business. Like if you will look at this policy, it will kind of, contact lenses is not approved as part of their compliance policies, and there could be just beyond like the legality of your business. It like Let me put it this way: your business not use case not being approved by WhatsApp is does not put any question mark on the legitimacy of your use case per se. WhatsApp has a different compliance policy, and because of 101 other reasons, these are few use cases they want to stay away from today, right? So there isn't a lot of you can do. These things do get updated, and all I can say at this point is that it's essentially to kind of wait and watch till these compliance policies get updated.
All right. So Akash, keep waiting for this. Nachiket is asking, what about business to consumer harassment concerns and also posh issues?
Which way are we talking? Business to consumer or consumer to business?
Business to consumer harassment concerns.
Could you elaborate, like what kind of examples are we talking about?
Let's wait Nachiket to answer. Move forward to one business can have more than one business API account.
Yes, you can have more than one business API account. You can have accounts across multiple BSPs. Uh, from WhatsApp side, there is no restriction to something like this. The only thing that's not possible today is you can't port your number between two BSPs. So if let's say you got a number approved through BSP A, you can't move it to BSP B.
All right. Akash is asking any plan similar to offered by Trivilio with zero setup fees. Can Indian business get WhatsApp business API through Trivilio or international BSPs? If the messages are read, what happens to users' privacy?
Uh, um, I'm sure there would be some Indian BSPs who offer, zero setup fee as well, like Twilio, where so Twilio, like for everybody else's benefit, Twilio has zero setup fees. They charge you an additional fee on top of each session message and on top of each notification message, and that's where let's say they make money for all the effort that they take in. And Akash, I'm sure there will be a few BSPs out there, but like they keep changing their pricing over time. So at this point, like on top of my head, I can't think of one that might fit, let's say, the requirement you have. Every BSP that works, every BSP is bound by certain ways in which we can host this WhatsApp data, and we have to make sure on our end to keep this user message end-to-end encrypted as we kind of store this information. So if you are working with an official BSP provider, I think this you shouldn't worry about. I will definitely throw a word of caution out here, which is to say that so there are official BSP providers, and then there are resellers of BSPs, and then there are some people, like there's some businesses who have built like products by parsing WhatsApp messages. The you need to be wary of the second and the third kind of business providers, specifically if with like concerns like privacy. All official WhatsApp business API providers, you will generally find them listed on Facebook's own page. I will send the URL also to you guys. Um, but that's something to kind of be wary about as you think about privacy, encryption, and security of this data. All official business providers would definitely be taking care of it. But in case, let's say, you ended up working with somebody who is not an official business provider but kind of claim to be one, you might get into, let's say, challenges with them.
Sure. Advait is asking the 30 paisa is charged against each push message sent or valid over 24 hours.
Um, I will answer this based on what I understood from this. Um, so let's say you send any push notification within an active window of 24 hours, it will not get charged. But let's say you send a the user has not contacted you for 24 hours or more. Now every time you send a message till they reply back, it will always get charged. So for what can happen is, let's say user has not spoken to me ever, which means there is no active session with the user. I send out a notification, it will be charged 30 paisa. Okay. Now let's say the user replies back, and let's say in 15 minutes, 20 minutes, I again send out a message. I will not be paying for this. However, depending on the BSP and their pricing, you might get charged. Right. So there are certain BSPs who still charge for it. So that can happen. But let's say from WhatsApp side, this messaging within 24 hours, whether you're sending, let's say, a templatized message or let's say a non-templatized message, it's all supposed to be free. Right. But different BSPs have different business models, and depending on them, there might be a certain charge that might be put here.
All right. Advait, hope you this answers your question. Pratiksha is asking for the pre-approved message template. Can we change a link, part of the template message for different users, as the link should be unique for each user?
Yes. So template messages, they are available. You can substitute those variables differently for each user. Also, hey, am I still connected?
Yeah, yeah, you are.
Okay. So also WhatsApp has these really nice looking buttons under which you can put a URL. You can actually make each URL to be dynamic. So which means your button can also kind of be personalized for each particular user. And it is super handy, specifically when you are sending out, abandonment triggers, because now you can land them in their exact cart that they had abandoned versus taking them just to your website.
All
So
right.
it's definitely possible.
All right. Akash is asking, can brands manage drip marketing post customer abandoned cart engagement in combination with SMS plus email?
Yes, as long as you've kind of taken in the opt-in from the user, you can design how you want to kind of use them. And let's say from a WhatsApp standpoint, it's completely possible. Now, essentially, the question is, do you have the right kind of tool to run this? Because let's say whatever you're using for drip marketing campaign, does that support WhatsApp integration or not?
All right. I think we are done. Rest of the questions, maybe you can take offline. I'll share your details with the entire community who are the part of this session as well. We are already 7:40 now, more than that. So we're getting a lot of thanks messages from participants. Thank you, Apurva, for taking out the time and giving us the complete detailed presentation about how to go with WhatsApp business without API and with API both. We need to share BSPs in the community. We'll be sharing your contact details with everyone so that if they have any query or they want to go about it, they can contact you or your sales team, probably.
Thank you,
Thanks,
everyone.
everyone. Yeah, thanks, everyone. Great session. Thank you. Thanks for your time.
Bye bye.
Bye. Take care. Bye.
You too. Bye.